Hello, loves. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're clicking on this video. This is actually some clips from this morning when I was doing some training, telesales training with a new agent. And I just felt today like, you know what, let me just start recording some clips of conversations that I'm having on a daily basis. Just getting back into really, well, no, I've been serving and helping people forever on this insurance business, but not recording it as I've been going along. I've been an insurance agent since 2011. 2011. We are in 2025, the time of this video. And I am just, listen, I am on fire for what God has done, what God is doing, and just being able to serve others, right? That is my true calling. And so I am for it. I am here for it. I'm going to do more and more of it. I'm excited for this year and what's to come, but I'm more excited for you individuals who are coming into this insurance space. And even not even in the insurance, but even just being an entrepreneur and trying to figure out what it is that you need to do in life, like your passion, your vision, your calling, and making a great income doing that, right? It is all about serving others and making sure that you give all the glory back to God, right? Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have anything. So go ahead and listen in. Feel free to put your comments down below. Like the video if you like it. Share it with somebody else that may need these little tips. And I'm sure you're going to gain some information out of it. Because as I was listening to it just a minute ago, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to share it. So go ahead and tune in. It's pretty quick. And let me know what you think. Talk to you soon. Peace. How do you know about whole life? What do you know about whole life? Okay, that's awesome. When did you get it? And again, you want to know that because if they got that coverage years ago, always keep in mind the rates change based on the age, right? Mm-hmm. And if they say I have a $10,000 plan, 10,000 whole life coverage, you really don't want to do a 10,000 quote today because they're going to say, well, wait, I'm only paying $25 because they got that when they were younger and today it's 42. And they're going to be like, well, why is this so much more? Now you got to get into, well, because it's based on your age and your health, which you should say that anyway, because it's in the script. But you want to stay mindful of that now that that person already said it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So this is a constant thinking through the process, having a conversation, finding the need, and then helping them see why it would be a good idea to increase if they did not, right? If they're sitting there like, oh, I think I have enough. And even thinking about that, like, this is why I want to like constantly have you thinking. If somebody even said, oh, well, I think I have enough. And they said they wanted to do, say, cremation and they had $10,000 worth of coverage, but they had this life insurance policy 10 years ago. What would be a reason why, a good reason why that client may want to increase, even if they just wanted to do cremation and they have 10,000? I want you to kind of think about what changed in the life insurance policies today, like really after pandemic. A lot of certain things changed.
You said after the pandemic?
Mm-hmm. A lot of companies added a certain thing to their policies.
They asked them if they ever had COVID.
They added a benefit.
I don't know.
The living benefits. A lot of insurance companies added that living benefit to their plans after that pandemic.
Okay.
LH was one of them. They did not have living benefits the first like 8-9 years that I was working over there. That was not part of the life insurance plan. And now a lot of these companies, all the ones that I work with for final expense have living benefits. So that is something that you can tie in. Like, well, listen, this is great that you actually clicked on that ad. Excuse me, because those old policies, now I don't know if yours have it or not, but most of the old policies don't have living benefits. Are you familiar with that? Yeah. And then they'll be like, well, what is a living benefit? And now you could go into, this is educating them. So yes, it may be a little bit off of your script, but now you're having a conversation and you're grabbing their attention to see how you can help them. Okay. Right? So, a living benefit is if you have any type of chronic or critical or terminal illness, you're actually able to tap into your life insurance policy to help out with maybe household bills when you're trying to figure out your life, right? Now, I'm going to say it like that because that's my style. Somebody else may say it like, well, listen, it gives you an opportunity to be able to take out money out of your life insurance policy to help with household bills or medical expenses or anything else. Same thing, right? It's just, I'm going to say it the way that I speak. Somebody else might say it a little more, professional, if you will. But that is another benefit out of the newer policies that are not in the old policies. Doesn't mean that they need to cancel that old policy, because that wouldn't be in their best interest, especially if it was whole life. They've had it for years and it's building a cash value. Like, we don't want to do something that's not good for the client. But that is a reason that a client should increase, just because they're getting older and you don't know if you're going to have a stroke, heart attack, one of these things, cancer, that's going to affect your life now, that your other policy can't help you with, but your new one could. So just keeping that in mind, right? So one of the first thing is knowing how much, they have currently, understanding that if you do another 10,000 quote, it's going to be more, and you may come up with, well, how come it costs more? And you got that when you were younger. So insurance is definitely based on your age and your health. We're a little bit older right now, but it sounds like your health is great. And that's the reason why this is the rate. But we could definitely just add another 5 if the 10,000 is too much. Right? Okay. So that's just that extra nugget. So go ahead with your next step. So you have to listen to everything that your client is saying. So I'm going to say it again.
All right.
All I want is cremation. I don't believe in leaving a whole lot of money, to funeral homes or anything like that. But I do want my family to take a trip. So I want to have enough money for my family to take a trip when I pass, to celebrate, because I love to travel.
Oh, you love to travel. Okay. Did you have plans on where well, not you. Oh, goodness. Do you have plans on where your family wanted to go? Well, actually, you have plans for you want your family to go?
Yeah, actually, I want them to do a cruise.
A cruise?
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Yep. I want to pay.
Something you always enjoyed doing?
I did. I've been on 5 different cruises, so I'm looking forward to another one. Although it seems like they keep crashing, but I want to experience it at least one more time before I check out.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So am I connected enough right there?
Yeah.
To the next thing? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So that is awesome. Just like, that's beautiful. I never heard somebody say that before. Or, that's very creative. You want to like compliment.
Compliment. Okay. All right. That's awesome. For you to want to take your family. This is so nerve-wracking, but I'm
it's okay. It's all right. And think about it. Like, there's a lot of people in this world that never have been able to go on a cruise or been able to travel because they didn't have enough money for it, right? Like, you got to just think through and be human, right? It's like, wow, that's interesting that you'd want to take them on a trip. And I might even say, well, have they ever been on a cruise before? Have you guys talked about it? Like, I'm going to dig in a little bit. I'm not going to get them too far off track, but just a little bit to be interested in what they're saying. Right? And it's like, well, yeah, we talked about it. They want to go to do. Well, shoot, did y'all ever go on a trip before? Right? And they might say, well, we did. I'm like, oh man, that is so awesome. I can't wait for my next vacation. I don't have anything planned for the next 7 months, but all right, let me get back to this, to what we need to be doing here. And that's how I get back into, let me get back to what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Like, oh, I wish I was on vacation right now. Okay, let me get back to this. And that's the way that I get back into what we're talking about, right? So, and the next thing is, well, let me see what kind of discounts I can get you. That's the next section down, because we already know she has whole life. She doesn't like term. We've already talked about that. So you can skip that, right?
Yeah.
So listen, go ahead.
I guess my one question would be for the beneficiary part of it, but I guess we can add that in.
We can add that in. Yep. As we get down to the bottom.
Okay.
You can add that in, because this, again, is somebody, she already has coverage and already like, I'm really not even looking for anything extra. So we can move some things around. So I'm going to get that at the end. And I was about to say, like yesterday when I did the app, but you weren't on the line, but the address was wrong. I didn't sit there at the beginning of the call and try to get that address updated, right? Because I was listening to, like, she really didn't want to be on that phone anyway. So I'm like, oh, okay, but don't worry about the address. You're still in Pennsylvania, right? Yeah, I'm still in Pennsylvania. Okay, cool. I can get that later. And I kept going through. And then at the end, when I was doing the application, I'm like, okay, well, you told me the address was different. Where did you move to? And I got that address at the end, right? So I'm not going to create any ripples if I don't have to. I can get all that, whatever I need later. No, that's not my accurate birthday. Da, da, da. Okay, no problem. I need that birthday when I'm putting in for the quotes. If I hear some agitation, I don't need to go through that right now. Let me talk to her. Let me connect. Let me show her what we can do and how we can help her. And then I can get that information later because now she's going to be ready to give it. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right. So that's why it's important to connect, not just read the script.
Okay. Got it.
So when somebody runs to you, you know what, I'm healthy. I don't have any of that. I'm not, I don't take any medication. Well, if they say, you know what, I'm healthy, I don't have any of that. So any of the things that you mentioned, and they kind of cut you off like, I'm healthy, I'm good. You still want to say, okay, so you're not taking any medication or haven't taken any medication in the last 5 years for nothing like high blood pressure or diabetes. Throw that in. Because sometimes they be like, oh, well, you know what? I do take med for high blood pressure. But I mean, that's not that, it's high blood pressure. But you want to know that, right? So you don't need to go through all of that. If they say, oh, I'm healthy. If they say, I don't take any medication at all. I'm good. I'm healthy. Say, have you ever had to take any medication like within the last 5 years? Right? Like for high blood pressure, diabetes, anything like that. Because that'll jog a memory. They're like, nope, I'm good. I'm healthy. I work out every day. I go jog. I ride my bike. I eat healthy. I'm real good. Oh my goodness. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations. I don't get that often. Then you want to ask, okay, well, I know you said you're healthy and everything, but have you ever had any drug abuse or been arrested? And I laugh when I say that after they told me they were this healthy, but I still ask because that doesn't mean that they've not been arrested or that they not have had drug abuse. Because I had a client that was healthy, was not on medication, was good. But 5 years ago, he was in a facility for drug abuse. He just happens to be now clean and he's got his life together. But certain carriers, would look at that as like, oh, okay, not modified, but, wouldn't be able to get like the wealth building plans and things like that. So you just want to ask, you still want to ask that. So, so when you already have the 3 different quotes up on your screen, even though you're only going to give her the 1, you're ready to give the other 2, right? So you say you give her the 10. And again, in the beginning, I was like, she already had 10. So she's almost automatically going to think, I have 10,000 and I'm paying this. Now you're giving me this 10,000 and it's going to cost me that. She's automatically going to look at the 2 rates and feel like that's too high because I already have 10 and I'm not paying that. So this is where we have the conversation, right? Okay. So you gave me the 10. I'm like, oh, you know what? No, I'm not going to spend that much for that 10. I mean, I already have 10,000 and I'm paying this. What are you going to say?
So I did pull up 2 other quotes for the 7,000 and the 5,000. No.
Immediately remind her, oh, you know what? I completely understand. You're looking at how much you're paying for your current policy. But remember, insurance is based on your age and your health. So you're a lot older now. Your health is great, but you're a little bit older. So that's why the rate is more.
Okay.
Right. So is it that this $35, $45 is out of your budget range? Or is it because you're thinking about the fact that you have 10 and you're spending less because you got it when you were younger? Make them challenged. Like I would challenge that. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that. Well, I don't really need another 10. I don't need 10. Immediately, you're going to say, okay, well, I put up 7. 7,000 is going to be this, and 5,000 is going to be that. Which one of those would you rather take? I don't ask. You don't want to ever ask. Well, do you want me to show you 5,000? No.
Okay.
Right? Don't ever ask because that leaves them the way to say no. You don't want to ask. Well, you want me to show you 5, or no. When they are giving you that little bit of pushback on that price or even the coverage amount, automatically just say, well, you know what? I have 7,000. That's only going to be this. And then 5 is only this. Tonality.
Okay.
Right? While I'm over here, no, but I really just don't want to pay that. I just wanted to see what you guys had and this and that. Oh, you know what? Well, I completely understand. Well, listen, 7,000 will be this, and it's day one, and 5,000 will only be this.
Okay.
Does that sound a little bit better for you? And then stop talking. And most times they'll turn around and say, you know what? Go ahead and give me that 7. Go ahead and give me that 7. Okay, no problem. Now, I have the spelling of your first name. Automatically, I'm going into the questions for the application. I have the spelling of your first name, this, right? Okay, your date of birth is that. Is this the best phone number that we should put on your file? Do you have another phone number that we can reach you on? Automatically, I'm going into the app. Okay. I'm writing down, the information. And that's why I keep the money sheet in front, sitting on my desk. So I can start writing as the system, you're clicking on that button and the app is coming up. I can automatically start putting in, asking the information. I don't want any pauses. I'm going to go ahead and get this down. And then when the screen comes up, then I can go ahead and start typing that into the system. Right? Okay. So when you get to the part of, okay, well, I'm going to need you to go ahead and grab your photo ID for me. While they're grabbing their ID, that's what I'm typing in the computer. Because I've already did my data entry. Like I wrote it down. So I'm typing it in. Okay. And as you get, more fluent, you'll be a click, button's going to be up, right? Because in the mornings when I get in, I like to already have, I'm only working with the 3 or 4 carriers. So I can pretty much have them already up. So I'm like, boom, I'm doing this one. Click the button, logged in, and I'm ready to go. Right? Okay. Mm-hmm. That you have to understand the type of individuals that you're dealing with. I mean, you can get into that point, into that space of understanding, like the house might be run down. They might have dogs, peeing and pooping all through the house. They're older. It's harder for them to clean up. They don't have nobody coming and checking on them. They're on all these medications. Like, you've been in the field before. If you go back and think about, I don't remember how long you were working in the field, but I have 10 years of in the field. In different states, in different counties, in different areas, where I can sit back and I can think about what that house might look like, what this person may be going through, right? I'll never forget the day that I knocked on this door and the woman came to the door hysterical. And the husband came right behind and I'm like, I'm like confused. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, hey, I'm up here from Pittsburgh just to go over, the life insurance information you guys requested. And the husband was like, we can't talk to you right now. We just came home and found our daughter committed suicide. Like, these are the type of things that I experienced in the field. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, I'm not, and I'm always like, because I am sorry, like, yo, and I mean, I had to take like a 20-minute break after that because that threw me off. Like, wow. But this is the stuff that people are dealing with every day. We are dealing with this stuff every day. So when you get yourself into that mind space of, they could have just gone out the hospital, right? The one lady that cussed me out, she done broke her own door, slamming the door on me because I banged on it so hard because the screen door was open. And I'm like, I know somebody's in there and nobody was responding. Here, this lady was asleep on the couch. She had just finally got to sleep from 3 days of pain and torture. And here I am waking her up. Girl, like, glad she didn't have a gun because I probably would have got it. Slammed that door on me so many times that I was sitting on the porch like, oh my God. Did I go back and help him later? Yeah, I went back like 2 weeks later. Found out she had just got out the hospital. She was like, somebody came banging on my door. It was still me, but she didn't remember it was me. Thank God for that. But she told me the story and she was, she couldn't sleep and all the things, right? So I think about these things whenever I'm getting on the phone and I picture what they could be going through when they talk nasty. Right? So that I don't take it personal. It's not about me. You don't know me. So you calling me names, you being angry, you hanging up on me, you calling me back, you cussing at me, all the things that we do experience on these phones. It's not about me. And I think about, wow, I wonder what they're going through today. Oh, well, next. And I'm going to call them back again. Yeah, I'm going to call. I'm not going to blow you. I'm not going to blow them up right now. Some people will tell you to do that. I'm not doing that. I don't need to. I'm going to go ahead and call the next person and the next person and the next person. And then I'm going to circle back. And I'm not even going to write on the lead that they cursed at me or they hung up on me. You know why?
Because she don't want to walk in that phone call with that energy from the last time.
Right. Exactly. I don't want to go and call her and be like, oh, she hung up on me and cursed me out last time. And now I'm sitting here expecting it. I don't want to expect it. Right. Now, when I hear her voice again, it's probably going to remind me like, oh yeah, that was her. But I'm not going down, because what might happen is that may keep me from calling her back, and she may really need me. Right.
Okay.
So it's mental. This is more of a mental opportunity than anything else. It is mental. You got to get into that space of understanding we're here to help the people, not hurt them. And we are problem solvers. So you constantly have to be thinking and listening to what they're saying, how they're saying it, because we can't see them. We can't walk at the door and go in and see everything that's going on in that house to be able to be like, okay, now I see why they talking crazy. Because, I mean, I'd be mad too if I had to live like this, right? We're on the phone. And that's why I say, you love music. This is your music. Listen to everything so that you can respond and not just say and stay scripted. You don't want to just say your script and stay scripted. You gotta know this script inside and out so you can have the conversation with the person. Make sense?
It does. Yes.
And again, thinking about, okay, they might say this or they might say that. And if they say this, what am I going to say? Right? And maybe I will put down some like what I've heard through all these years. When I say this, they say that, and what you should or could say, just to kind of help that out. I never even thought about doing that. And when I'm doing my online courses and everything, I might as well add that in it. But it's just a matter of, this is my sick aunt. This is my sick uncle. How can I help them? Right? And that's why that tonality matters. You can't just sound like a robot. You gotta have, the energy gotta be in there. It's all important. That's why it's going to bed at night on time, waking up and having a routine so that you can be energized and you can get on and you're ready to just do what you need to do. Have your, I got my juice and I got my water. You know what I mean? I got all my things. Usually I have my coffee and then I have the water. So I don't have to get up and leave until it's my break time. Mental though. Just breathe and relax. These are normal people. They're regular people. Little older, so they don't give a damn what they say to you.
It's true.
They don't give a damn. Yes. That's the only thing that I be over here like, oh my goodness. I be like, whoa. And I'm here with my mom now. She 80. So stuff coming flying out her mouth, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. She's like, I can say whatever I want. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You have earned that right. Right. Yeah. And so just, knowing that is going to make this so much easier. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. Right? Circle back. I had a lady, I called, and she's like, who is this? I'm like, oh, this is Christine with the Life Now Insurance Group. Click. So I called her back. She throws me in a voicemail. So I sent a text message. And I was like, hey, I know you guys probably get a lot of telemarketers. I'm not a telemarketer. I'm actually responding back to you because you guys were looking for some help with insurance. Here's my card. I'll try back tomorrow, or feel free to call me at a better time. And then I call back tomorrow. Right? So that's working, working your lead, if you will. If I have an email, I'm going to send an email. Hey, you probably thought I was a telemarketer, but I'm not. You were looking for insurance information. I just need to ask a couple questions to get you the best rates. Give me a call back, or I'll check back in with you tomorrow. I'm going to let you know I'm going to call you back, or I'm going to check back in tomorrow. Right? So it's not a surprise. Correct. I'm checking back in, right? You filled out a form. There was a need. There was something you wanted to know, right? And so again, just, listen. If you listen more and think about it like I'm talking to a family member or one of my best friends, we all in. We want to hear the story. We want to hear all the stuff, right? It's like, for real? What's going on? And we're in it so that we can respond. You got to be in it. You got to be in it. When that person answers the phone, this is your soundtrack. This is your music. This is you're the musician. Like, you got to be in it. For me, I love movies. So I'm like, this is my movie. And I'm the main actor, right? Because they acting a fool too. I'm trying to help you. So if I gotta humble myself because you over here talking crazy to me and I want to talk crazy back to you and I know I can't, I gotta act like I'm okay with you cursing at me.
Yeah.
You know, but at some points I'm like, listen, can we try to cut down all the cursing? You know, the call is being recorded, and you know, I know that might be something that you enjoy doing, but you know, and I'm like, oh, you know what, I'm so sorry. I'm like, yeah. But 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. Every blue moon, you do get that one. It's like every other word, they just F-bombing. But I don't know what their life is like, you know? So
Yeah,
you don't
for
want to
sure.
judge, but you definitely want to stay on just soft. Just like, I'm just here to help. I am. You got to be a little aggressive in helping them understand that this is something that they need, right? So when they come with the, oh, I don't have any life insurance, but I think I can wait. What are you waiting for?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to ask, like, well, what are you waiting for? Because God forbid, people went to Walmart and thought they were coming home with their milk and didn't.
Yeah.
Every day of the week is happening. We just don't know when we're going to be called home. So what are you waiting for? Respectfully, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
You know, we can get this done now. You're never going to think about it again.
Yeah.
So let's just take this 7 minutes, get in the information, get you locked in, and you can be done with it. Okay? All right, let's go. And then, you know, help them out. So the script is there so that you know exactly the things that you need to talk about and what you need to ask so that you can get the best quotes, the best rates, with the best carrier, right? But you have to be a person. You have to communicate. You have to be real, right? Like the one guy, he want to talk about me football. I said, listen, honey, I don't know nothing about them daggone Steelers or anybody else. I said, I was the kid with all the other girls in the house. We were told to cook and to serve the guys, and that's what we did. So we was over there having fun with y'all over there cutting up, drinking your beer and everything. We didn't watch the game. We served y'all watching the game. So we need to talk about something else. And he bust out laughing. He was like, okay. And he always go, you married? They always said it. You married? I'm like, bruh, I'm not talking about that either, right? Let me get your insurance stuff together. But that's connecting. You know what I mean? And so they'll say something. I'm like, oh, was the game not good last night? You said you hung over because of the game. And they'll start talking about the game. I'm like, oh, we can't go into that though. I can't even get there with you. I would have been the one bringing you the beer and stuff, right? I would have been the one talking about who punted the ball. And so just, you know, knowing enough to be able to connect and still have fun, because this is not always an easy conversation talking about getting life insurance, right? But I don't want to have my client always feeling like they're in the casket today, but you need to make sure they understand that it's that important, because tomorrow you could be in one, you know, and then what's your family going to do?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we sit there and we go to a training for a job and we do everything that they tell us to do. Everything. And sometimes it's 3 days, you know, sometimes it's 4 days, sometimes it's 6 weeks that they're like, you got to do this, right? Every single day. You got to get this down. You got to do this. You got to keep it. This is no different. Even though it's your own business, you need to work harder for your own business than you do for the other business, right? Because this is going to truly be what blesses you long term. But you still have to do that. This is my job, and I have to learn this, right? I have to get this down. I have to understand this application. This carrier does this. This is this carrier does that, right? But the first thing is we need to understand how to talk to these people. And just listen, breathe. It's fine. Yes. They don't know if you forgot to ask something. Okay. They have no idea. Right? You'll know you missed it when you get to the app. And it's like, oh yeah, are you a smoker or non-smoker? Right? And then they say, oh, I'm a smoker, but you gave them a rate that's a non-smoker, and then you got to fix it. When it stings and you're like, oh, snap, it's not $42, it's actually $65 because you're a smoker. And they're like, well, wait a minute. My apologies, I forgot to ask you if you were a smoker or not. You might lose that deal. And you're going to feel that, and you're going to remember. And that's why when you start getting on the phones and talking to the people, and that's why I'm doing a role plays with you and throwing different things at you, right? because that's what's going to happen. And so you need to know your script, which is your business, right? You need to know that so that you know how to come back. And you know how to say, oh, well, well, this is that and this is that. And okay, I can help you with that, and be able to move around and still get the job done. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. You get it?
I am. I know. It's just, I feel like I'm a little hard on myself when I'm trying to learn something, but